Now you can see what I did here. I went ahead and made up the wires. I poked them in there and put those nice 1/4" spade clips on there. It's nice and tight. I took some old refrigeration fittings just because it'd be something different. I drilled and tapped that 1/8" pipe thread, screwed those in there, and drilled that out just a little bit so I could stick them wires in. And I'll poke that full of Vulcum, and that'll be just sealed as watertight as could be. And when that goes on the truck, it's going to go on at such an angle to where this is going to be the bottom right here, so water shouldn't drip down from the top. Then I went ahead and practiced one time on the putting the Vulcum on the inside of the bulb to hold it in place, so that turned out pretty good. So let's see if I can do a second one halfway as good as the first one. I don't know, hopefully you'll be able to see right here. I'll plug these guys up whenever I install it. I've already field tested the lights. Lights work fine, so they should be okay. But at any rate, we'll put this other side in now, and we'll call this cotton picker good till it sets up. Once it sets up, then we'll install them on the truck once and for all. Yep, for roughly $5 a tube. Typically it's like $4.74 a tube. That's what it costs in Home Depot or Lowe's or something. And I cannot brag on that product enough because it is really a fine product. Technically, you're not supposed to lick your fingers because it's known to cause cancer in California. I don't know if it's only Californians it causes cancer in or what, but it does say known in the state of California to cause cancer. So I don't know if that pertains to Missouri or not. But at any rate, hot doggies, there she is, man. She is just about ready. Once that cures up, we're going to go mount this thing, wire it in. And I'll wrap the wires in some nice amalgamating rubber tape, and this thing should be just about done. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna twist them wires up a little bit, but hopefully this is gonna work. It's worked for me a number of times in the past. But at any rate, check this out. I just put them in my Super Deluxe DeWalt 12-volt battery drill. Incidentally, I picked up for $7. At a second-hand store. Can't beat that for a spare drill. But at any rate, hold that cotton picker all the way down there to where it won't spin inside your fitting, and chuck it up and just turn the trigger. And let's just see what happens here. Check it out. See how nice that is? We'll back this off of here. It's all nice and twisted, and then all I'll do is wrap that with that amalgamating rubber tape, and it's nice and not all dangling around and everything, two separate conductors. So anyway, that's just a neat little thing I like to do. Next thing I done, I took these 1/4" flare caps and drilled a hole in the middle of the cap. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna poke these wires up through there, get them started. Get it right up here to the end, and we just use a little blob of Vulcum. I mean, it ain't gonna take much. Put a little blob inside there just like that. Tighten that right on there just like that. And I will paint that black after I put that rubber amalgamating tape on this. That's gonna be as watertight as could possibly be. Of course, those wires are not coming out again unless they're pulled out and then the Vulcum drilled out with a battery drill. Well, it's about time to put these backup light assemblies in there. So we'll see how this plan comes together. Remember, we described how I put that slot in here in order to give me that adjustment this way, and of course the bolt will allow it to be adjusted that way. So I should be able to fiddle with it and get whatever angle I need. I am going to tape this off and paint that black, you know, just so it'll be nice and neat. And then this is the Vulcum on the backside with that 1/4" rubber. That's going to hold it just as steady as could be. That's been curing for several days. It usually only takes a couple of hours to cure, but that'll be fine. But at any rate, it's time to start slipping this puppy together. And oh yeah, I forgot, I went ahead and drilled a hole in the top of this 1/4-inch flare cap, fill it full of Vulcum, pull the wires out so that's sealed so no water can get up inside. It's pipe doped here, you know, where I cut and drilled, tapped threads, 1/8-inch pipe threads inside the Schedule 40 pipe, so that's sealed good. And then I'll wrap out amalgamating rubber tape around all of this to where it goes up into my my harness. Now my harness is the factory harness, but I had to adapt it when I put this flatbed on. So it still hangs underneath there, but I try to keep it secure and tight, you know, so the brush don't rip it off and everything. But at any rate, we're going to see how we're going to check the degree of difficulty, so to speak, on how easy or difficult this is to go together. I do not expect it to be simple, but that's okay. I actually need another set of hands, but ain't nobody here, so that's all right. Let me get that wire on the back side. Let me get this bolt in through here like that. Got the lock washer on the back side, and I got an aircraft nut, the one with the nylon retaining ring inside there. So once that's tightened up, there should be no issue with slipping or rotating or anything of that nature. I can get that over the top of it, get it right in there. Okay, after more than a little bit of trials and tribulation, I did manage to get it started finally. It just took, I actually needed an extra pair of hands that I did not have access to. But at any rate, I finally finagled around and got it in there. I've got the angle about where it needs to be, though once I do get them wired in, so I want them to kind of angle in to point towards the trailer tongue as I'm backing up. But I can adjust that, and I'll probably take a mallet and just kind of tap this around, and if it needs to be changed, but I can't tell that until it's dark. But at any rate, I'm gonna keep tightening this fella up right here and see what angle I end up with for permanent. I've got another wrench down inside that horseshoe, kind of as a backup. They both take 3/4 inch wrenches, so it's a 5/8. I think this is a grade 5 bolt. I put a grade 8 on the other side because it's what I happen to have, and only had one on this side, you know, a grade 5 for this side. So, you know, grade 5, grade 8. One's a 100,000 tensile, you know, the other's 128,000 tensile, you know, so what's the big deal? You know, one or the other ain't gonna make any change. So I can get my angle this way. Let's see, there, I see the error of my ways. Here we go. There we go. She's tightening up there pretty snug now. Like I said, that 1/2 inch bolt, you can put some hurt to it. And if that aircraft nut on it, it ain't gonna go nowhere. And if it does, well, you know what? Bring it back and make a change and figure out what you can do to not to let it happen the next time. Okay, that's good enough for now. I'll have to wire that puppy in and check it out, you know, now and then again after dark. But at any rate, you can kind of take a look, see what I got in there. Just a basic, simple bracket out of angle iron. I just took an angle iron bracket, stuck it on that 6-inch channel iron bumper that I made, and then got her tied in like that. So it should work out pretty nice. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But at any rate, I'll wire that thing in, at least get ready to wire it in, then I'll turn the camera back on. Well, I've suddenly realized it's going to get kind of crowded under here trying to get myself, all my parts and pieces, and the camera and tripod and stuff in. So I might have to bow out on filming this part, but at any rate, whenever I first got under here, I just realized in my haste in wiring this when I put the flatbed on a number of years back, I don't know why, but I did not use rubber amalgamating tape on my connections. So those connections are actually corroded. So I'm going to pop each one of those loose and repair those before I go any farther with wiring in the lights. But at any rate, let me show you what I'm talking about when I talk about amalgamating tape. This is an actual rubber tape. This is a commercial grade. It's a very good high quality tape, and it's amalgamating, as I understand, means that once you stretch it and twist it around and around and around, and cures, it becomes a solid bond of rubber. unless you've got a lot of dirt or grease or oil on your fingers, or you have excessive oily skin. This stuff will bond together. Now, if any of those other conditions exist, I think you can peel it back off eventually. But for the most part, if you keep your fingers clean, this will turn into a solid block of rubber. That means to get into the joint, you literally have to cut the tape in too, all the way down to the wire. But this is really good stuff. It's for low and high voltage through 69 kV. That's 69,000 volts. Well, I seriously doubt that my backup lights on this old Ford is going to exceed much more than 12 volt. Maybe if my regulator goes wanky in the alternator, I might get 13.5, 14 volts or something, sometime or another. But that's what I'm going to use. And that's what I use on virtually everything. But and I am just absolutely shocked at myself that I did not do that whenever I put that flatbed on. So I'm going to correct that before I ever do anything else. And I'm sure I'm going to have to do the same thing on the other side. I haven't even looked up under there yet. But here's that amalgamating tape. It's old. I've had it for a number of years, but you can see it's when you stretch it like that and then wrap it around itself, man, I mean, it takes a little bit of time, and then it just bonds itself together. It's just absolutely amazing. So at any rate, I'm going to get under there and fix that stuff. Then I'll be back. Well, I got those corroded connections cut out and stripped back to fresh wire, and I got some new crimp connectors in there, and I went ahead and tied in the backup light. Doesn't look real pretty just exactly yet, but I need to test everything before I wrap them all up, secure them, and everything with that rubber tape. But I'll do that, then I'll zip tie everything off over tight to where it won't come in contact, hopefully with too much brush and everything, to grab the wires and everything. But at any rate, I will have to field test those before I before I wrap them up, because there's nothing worse than cutting that rubber tape off of there. But at any rate, here's my little kit for repairing all that kind of stuff. You can see what I mean. It gets a little crowded up in there. I know you guys know what all this stuff is. This ain't nothing but butt connectors and all kinds of different things. Spade clips, male, female, different diameters for going around different type studs and things like that. But at any rate, and then there's just a complement of tools that you use. I kind of like these guys right here. These are Kleins, and man, they really get you a heck of a crimp down inside there. Now, Gator knows all about this stuff. Now, he'll probably look at this and he'll probably holler at me for having all these electrical devices and everything. Anyway, Gator, I'm too far away from doing any damage to you in Canada, man. I'll be back whenever I get under the other side now. Well, here we go, moment of truth. I got all the corroded connections all changed out, and I'm going to turn the blinkers on, make sure the blinkers blink and all that other stuff. Tail lights come on, and the backup lights, hopefully they're going to work. So hang on just a second. Tail lights. All right, tail lights work. Left blinker. Left blinker. Yep, left blinker works. Right blinker. Yep, right blinker's working. Now, let's see if backup lights. Anyway, I guess it's a successful project. Looks like it's going to work, or looks like it is working. Don't know how long it's going to last, but hopefully for a while anyway. I got to tighten all those things up and clean them all up and use that rubber tape now and get those all nice and secure and waterproof so I don't have any corrosion issues in the future. I cannot believe that I went all this time without insulating or waterproofing those connections, and they've worked now for I don't know how many years. Been 8 or 9 years, I guess, since I put that flatbed on. I'd have to stop back and think. Hey man, this Tractor Man 44, and for now I am out of here.